Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Zachary Nolan, and you might notice that there's a different setup today, and Carter's not here. So mostly, one is Carter might pop in for this video. We are in two separate locations right now, and considering it's 2 a.m. in the morning, well, it's about 3 a.m. now. It is record o'clock, as I like to say. And considering that we are in two separate locations, we didn't want to wait, because we saw this episode was going to be over 50 minutes, and we thought, well, we probably shouldn't miss this. I literally just ended the recording. We might have footage of Carter spliced in here as well, but I'm just going to give my quick takes on this episode. If you haven't, by the way, please leave a like, share this around possibly, if you want to. And please, we would really appreciate if you guys could subscribe as well, because we are trying to hit 700. That's a huge goal for us. We really appreciate your guys' support, no matter what. And honestly, I think we're all, as a whole, just really enjoying this new Star Wars content that has been brought out. Minus the sequels. But, in terms of, TV show quality, they've been great. They've been really good. And let's get into this episode. I'm just going to hop right into it and say, without saying any spoilers, a quick takes on this, it's more of what you got in episode 1. If you liked what was given to you in episode 1, you're going to like what's given to you in episode 2. If you are annoyed with what was given to you in episode 1, you're probably going to still be annoyed with episode 2. What this does, especially, is there's world building being made, and there's also a bridge in context and continuity that is being filled by this episode. This episode takes place partially in the past and partially in the present, and what it does is it pretty much works from how did we get from episode 6 to Mandalorian, and how do we get from Boba Fett to the future. There's two time points that they are working with here, and they go simultaneously, and they use a back-to-tank as a very good transition for that, as him reliving his memories, so to speak. It's very technical, but you get what I'm saying. So now let's get into the actual spoilers. So if you're watching this and you don't want to get spoiled, then you're hard of hearing. This is, I don't freaking know. This episode was really fun. I had a lot of fun enjoying this, and also there's major implications. So the first thing that I think we need to get out of the way right now was the inclusion of, well, first off, they catch the ninja. I'll call him a ninja. He's an assassin, but you get the point. First off, the Rancor fake out, reaction here, by the way.
Fine. Perhaps he fears the Rancor.
Oh, no way! Oh, is he in there? What a block! That was such a, I knew deep down he wasn't gonna be there, because, he's dead. But, just that momentary feeling of, maybe, that's a really good play, honestly. And Fennec Shand doesn't need to do a lot to be really memorable, and honestly, she's one of the best female Star Wars characters we've got in the past, in a long time. Honestly, her, mostly her, her, and honestly, I feel terrible. I'm blanking on the Mandalorian, but, I'm it's Gina Carano. I don't oh, god damn it. But you know what I mean. A lot of the newer female characters they're giving us now in these TV shows have actually been really good. Both of those were good. Omega was great. I think that's good. Honestly, that's just great. Now, let's get to the main conflict of the present day, is the Hutts. There are a brother and sister Hutt, and those were done well. Because honestly, I also love the idea that Tatooine and Hutt space for literally millennia, if you go through the timeline of Star Wars, the Star Wars lore, Hutt space is Hutt space. Hutt space literally decided that they were going to, they've never lost any ground, even when the Empire was kicking. They didn't go into Hutt space. They would patrol it and have guys sent in there, but they never actually, like, regime over Hutt space. Hutt space is Hutt space. So now that we finally have a change of pace where the Hutts have actually been pushed out of Tatooine, and a brother and sister duel of Hutts trying to then fight Boba Fett for pretty much control of Tatooine makes perfect sense, because the Hutts are not used to losing. Even when they lost ground in Darth Maul's assault on Jabba's palace, Jabba then just pretty much decided, okay, I will then be your benefactor. And he didn't lose any ground. He just had to send supplies to Darth Maul. That was it. He didn't lose anything. Now they're actually losing ground. And that is becoming a great conflict to see. Also, by god damn, that Wookiee looks good. Reaction here. Who the fuck are you? Oh, a Wookiee? Oh, man, did he look good. Why are you here? Like, that Wookiee looks fierce, and I was super excited to see a Wookiee. Like, because we don't see it so often. And now, honestly, that's about it. There's that, in terms of present day. Let's go to the past storyline. So the past storyline pretty much picks up where it left off. In terms of, like, Boba Fett is still learning Tusken customs, but again, I love the Tusken portrayals in these TV shows that started in The Mandalorian, in terms of just showing, like, simple hand gestures, into now full-fledged conversations where they're actually, for the first time ever, giving us, like, actual dialogue that the Hutts are telling. They're giving us the translation of what the Hutts are saying. And I love that, because the Tuskens, fucking idiot, Tuskens, Hutts, the Hutts are saying, the Tuskens are saying, Hutts, they're doing that too, but the Hutts were always understood. The Tuskens are saying, the Tuskens have become looked at so well and so well developed, because honestly, like that episode in The Mandalorian where they actually pretended to be stormtroopers and they become part of the Empire, and we see that other side of the Empire in terms of human connection, that idea of modernization affecting tribes like the Tuskens is such a real concept that I really love how it's integrated into the story, because Boba Fett has nowhere else to go except the Tuskens, because the Tuskens are the only ones willing to care for him. And if he shows up at Mos Espa looking raggedy with nothing, he's probably going to get attacked by everyone in a 50-mile radius that has a gun. Maybe Boba Fett comes out of that alive. I bet it's still a fight I would love to see. But the main story is that Boba is growing with these Tuskens. And I have this weird feeling that this could be growing to a point of the Tuskens being a part of Boba Fett's control over Tatooine. I feel like it's really building towards that point, and it's a very good meeting of the two plot lines in terms of where this is going. Also, seeing the Pikes was great, and the Pikes having a conversation with the Tuskens, and the Tuskens pretty much having to, first off, they have to take out this train, which is a very daunting task, and it's handled very beautifully. I didn't know there was a droid conductor. That was fun. And then he just yeets himself out, which I was like, what the fuck? Reaction here. There's a lot to hit. What? Robot just says, fuck it, I'm out? And yeah, like, from that, it's really good action scenes, honestly. Every single Tusken, you like, there's a lot of them now that you're seeing, and you're like, oh, okay, that's one of the children Tuskens. Oh, that is the head Tusken. Okay, that's the Tusken that looks like the Swordmaster from the Raiders of the Lost Ark movie. Got it. Like, you're beginning to understand. And that scene in that tent where they're talking about machines, being afraid of machines, is such a, like, it's honestly like watching a history lesson on certain cultures being wiped out by advancing nations. Because it was like, okay, I can totally understand your fear right now because you are afraid because you are not physically equipped to battle with this, even if it is your birthright. So definitely was a highlight in that respect. The lizard scene was, Jesus Christ. Okay, that's a lot to deal with. Reaction here. What on earth is going on? The lizard scene was nuts, but it also highlighted something that I really appreciate, which was Tusken culture. Tusken culture, and also, I had a feeling when he brought this branch back, but it is confirmed to us that it is his weapon. They're giving him new cloths to wear, and it is pretty much like a ceremony, I guess, that all Tuskens, I assume, must go through. Maybe it's like a rite of passage at a certain age, but at least with him, it is his complete joining of their culture. And he comes back with the stick, and then he does, it's a great scene of him carving it out, right? Reaction here. Carving it into, oh, that's amazing! That's actually really, oh, that's such a good touch! Yeah, so overall, like, seeing that, it's just, it's not necessarily, they're not going out of their way to build new worlds, but they're expanding on the lore that we have. And that's a really good tool to use. Because so often you could see, like, to be honest, the Bad Batch got in trouble for this. A lot of episodes they wanted to just go to somewhere new and work from it. And that can work. And sometimes it did, but it also means that we might be getting a filler episode. With this, you're expanding on the established lore that you have. Honestly, this is very reminiscent of the Ryloth scenes in that, like, in the Bad Batch episode. Those were probably the best scenes the Bad Batch had, were because it was building on a narrative that we knew and stories that we understood. And honestly, I'm just really thrilled to see where the show goes next and how it keeps developing, because the runtime has been really generous.
Hey there, guys. So, like Zach said most eloquently, I'm not here. I had some stuff going on, but I just wanted to give just a few thoughts. I really like the Tusken, like, ceremony stuff. I feel like it does a great job to really string together where we last see him in Return of the Jedi to where we more recently see him in The Mandalorian, because there's a lot of time period that isn't put together, and I gotta say, I'm surprised at how smooth that they have made this, and I definitely think that the Tusken Raiders are going to be a huge part of the way that Boba Fett is going to keep control of Jabba's space, because the thing is that when he took it, it seemed like, okay, there's Boba and Fennec, but who else? You know what I mean? The Hutts had tons of guys working for them, which is why, as Zach was saying, the Hutts held their space for so long, and how not even the Empire could break that. So I really am loving where they're going with this, and I love to see the conflict within the Hutts and Boba Fett and whatnot, just because you kind of got to see a little bit of the dynamic of the Hutts in parts of the Clone Wars, but I love that we're expanding on it. Also, the CG for the Hutts, top notch. They've really gotten so much better at that since they first did it. But yeah, I mean, there's not like a whole lot of opinions I have on this episode. It's damn good. I'm excited for the next one. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. And back to Zach.
Always a good sign. And it's been telling a very compelling story thus far. So honestly, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe once again, as I said, on your way out. If you want to talk to us on any of our socials, it's in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.